After every player has paid their maintenance or collapsed, the spring phase begins. Beginning with the first player, each player can play any number of military or civics cards from their hand into one or more provinces. Each player should place an ownership token on the topmost card in provinces under their control. A player is not required to play cards during the spring phase and may simply pass. Some cards have building icons while others do not. A province can contain any number of cards, but only 3 building icons are permitted in each province. Unless China is unified, which will be explained later in this video, 2 players cannot share a province. If a player wishes to force an opponent out of a province, they must attack the target province. The attacker must play cards with a combined military power greater than the combined military power of the cards currently in the province. When attacking or defending their home province, a player receives +1 military power. All cards used in the attack must be placed in the target province. The attacker cannot use cards in an attack that would cause them to violate the space limit of a province. The displaced cards are placed in the defender's inactive discard pile. After each player has played cards or passed, the summer phase begins. Once again, players will add to their deck using military power. Remember that the ultimate goal is to use your military and civics power to acquire the tiles in position 5 and 6 for victory points. When one player has established provinces in all playable rows, China has become unified. While China is unified, the following rules apply. During unification, any number of players may occupy a single province. Each province can accommodate a maximum of 3 buildings total, not 3 buildings per player. Players should place ownership markers on their cards when more than one player is sharing a province. Pay close attention to the special abilities on cards when sharing a province. Cards under your control are those directly under your player marker. Cards in a province refers to any card in a province, even those you do not control. During summer and fall, the unifier can use the base power of all cards in a province, even those placed by other players. Other players can only use their own cards. The unifier can only utilize the base military and civics power of a card. They cannot invoke the special abilities on the cards of other players. During winter, the unifier pays maintenance for all cards in the provinces, regardless of the owner. All other players pay only their court cost. If the unifier does not collapse during winter, they immediately take 1 tile of their choice from the board. If the unifier collapses, other players' cards remain in play. If more than one player occupies a province, resolve combat, with the player closest to the board acting as the defender. In provinces with more than 2 players, the single player with the highest military total wins. If somebody plays more military power into a province than the unifier, a revolt is triggered. The active player finishes playing their cards, then military contests are resolved. Resolve each row in turn from top to bottom. Treat the unifier as the defender in all cases. The losing side in each province goes to the owner's inactive discard pile, just as in normal combat. In provinces with 2 or more players, the single player with the highest military total wins, with the unifier winning all ties. After the revolt, play proceeds as normal, with China once again divided. There are three possible game end conditions. First, if there are not enough cards in the main deck to refill the board during New Year, the game ends immediately. Second, if three or more tile stacks are completely empty at New Year, the game ends immediately. Finally, if a player collapses for the third time, discarding their final court cost token, the game ends in the New Year phase of that round. A player who controls any province at game end takes possession of that home province marker. Each home province marker is worth 10 victory points at the end of the game. In this example, the player scores 20 points. The military, civics, and commodity legacy tiles are worth victory points based on the cards in the player's deck at the end of the game. A player's score in each category is equal to the total cards of that type in their deck, multiplied by the total tiles of that type in their possession. In this example, the player scores 2 points for their military cards, 6 points for their civics cards, and 2 points for their commodity cards. Project tiles are scored in sets. One tile from a single set is worth 5 points. 2 tiles from the same set are worth 15 points together. 3 are worth 30, 4 are worth 50, and all 5 are worth 75 points. Score the entire set together, not each tile individually. The set does not necessarily need to be in order. Score based on the number of tiles, not the completeness of the image. Finally, players score any court cost tokens remaining in their possession. 1 token is worth 5 points. 2 are worth 15, and all 3 are worth 30 points at the end of the game. As with the project tiles, score the court cost tokens as a set, not individually. The player with the most victory points has proved they have the Mandate of Heaven and wins the game. If you are interested in finding out more about Mandate of Heaven, please visit our website at blackknightgms.com. You can also contact me directly at blackknightgms@gmail.com. Check out our page on BoardGameGeek by searching Mandate of Heaven. Leave your thoughts in one of the forums or start your own. We are on Instagram as @fancypants.brock, Facebook @blackknightgms, and you can find us on Twitter at @blackknightgms. Thank you for watching. Please leave feedback and let me know if you're interested in getting your hands on a copy of Mandate of Heaven.